Ocala nurse who had sex with husband's 15-year-old son takes plea deal. Alexis Von Yates, Ocala, Florida nurse caught having sex with her husband's 15-year-old son to take a plea deal that will reduce prison time after incident led to the stepmom losing her nursing license as the boy's family seek to spare him, reliving his trauma in court testimony. A Florida nurse who was caught being sexually intimate with her husband's 15-year-old son has agreed to cop a plea deal which will significantly reduce prison time she will now have to serve. Alexis Von Yates, 35, of Ocala was initially charged with engaging in unlawful sexual activity with a minor after her husband Frank claimed he caught his wife red-handed last year. Plea deal to spare victim minor having to relive trauma. However, the former nurse, who lost her medical license after the sexual abuse allegations emerged, has now pleaded no contest to a lesser charge of lewd and lascivious battery during a recent hearing, Court TV reports. Prosecutors said the victim's family supported the negotiated plea as it meant the 15-year-old victim would avoid reliving his ordeal, something they feared would disrupt his ongoing mental health treatment. Under the terms of the plea agreement, Von Yates will serve 2 years in the Department of Corrections, followed by 2 years of community control and 10 years of sex offender probation. She must also complete 200 hours of community service and pay fines and court costs. However, the exact details of her sentence will be handed down in September when the victim and his biological mother plan to make statements to the court. An investigation was launched after police received an anonymous tip in July 2024, just days after the alleged sexual abuse occurred. That included information that the child victim's father had walked in on the incident. Reports at the time cited a criminal affidavit stating that Von Yates abusing her teen stepson while the boy was visiting his father's Florida home for the summer. Horny nurse wished stepson was old enough. On the night of the alleged incident, Yates reportedly put her 2 children to bed and then hung out with her 15-year-old stepson in the living room, according to court documents. The pair reportedly smoked a THC vape, a chemical found in marijuana plants, and played video games together and watched movies. It wasn't until around 1 a.m. that the stepmother is alleged to have then seduced the victim minor, after telling the victim how horny she was. In statements given to police, the boy claimed she told him she was sexually frustrated because she had not had sex in 2 weeks and she was on her period. The pair then cuddled before kissing. At this point, it is claimed Von Yates allegedly told the boy, "I wish you were 18, because you're not old enough." Von Yates then kicked off her underwear before sexual contact occurred, according to the affidavit. About this time, Frank came home from work and is alleged to have discovered his wife and son on the couch, completely naked, with the father responding, "What the FK is going on?" The father is then said to have begun throwing objects, before calling Von Yates a CT, and accusing her of being a child predator. The 15-year-old ran out of the house, but allegedly heard Von Yates tell his father that his son looked just like him when he was younger, according to the affidavit. Following her arrest on November 6, 2024, Von Yates' nursing license was suspended. The victim had been scheduled to testify about the incident over a Zoom call, but has now been spared as a result of the plea agreement. The family's desire for Von Yates to do additional time is outweighed by their overall concern for the victim's mental and emotional health, prosecutor Shayna Pickens told the judge on Thursday. The mother feels it is justice for him to not have to relive this situation. In Florida, the age of consent is 18 years old. Like and subscribe for more.